What's cracking, guys? Omar Isuf here, back with another video. Here today to talk about strength and why doing less reps might be more beneficial. Reps further away from failure. Oh, we're talking about failure.
Oh, I'm a failure.
I would say that there's been a lot of conversation when it relates to hypertrophy and training to failure. And again, the short summary on that one, if you're a beginner, if you love training to failure because you're like, you know what, I am a failure, let's go to failure. If that's what you like to do, again, you're a beginner, intermediate, and your sole goal is hypertrophy, go ahead. If that's what you want to do, completely fine. For advanced lifters, for intermediate, beginner lifters that are interested in strength, if you're purely focused in strength, this video will be even more relevant to you. We're talking about proximity to failure, and once again, why for a certain subset of the population, training further away from failure might be more beneficial. Before we go on, I have to give a shout out to MASS, Monthly Applications and Strength Sports. That's Greg Knuckles, Mike Zordos, Eric Trexler, Eric Helms, who they do a monthly research review, taking a look at the latest literature. And there's an interesting one written by Greg, an article all about recent research, taking a look at pull-ups, pull-up strength, and how essentially individuals have stopped further away from failure. I'm not talking RPE 8 here. People are thinking, oh yeah, further away from failure. Yeah, you're probably talking about RPE 8. Now I'm talking like RPE 6. And if you don't understand RPE, don't worry. I'll also give examples when it comes to percentages. But essentially, the group that trained and again, they equated the total number of sets. So the group that did less total repetitions and further away from failure actually experienced better strength gains. And this isn't an anomaly. This has actually occurred before in the literature. And we can see this if you have coaching experience, you actually kind of immediately and intuitively understand this, where there's different subsets of the population. If you're 18 years old, you don't have a job, maybe you're in high school or you're just starting university, you have a lot of free time on your hand, your overall stress, and I'm not judging you, I'm just saying maybe this might be you, is lower on average. You could train a lot more. I remember when I was 18, I was first training, I would train 5 to 6 times per week, and I would go to failure on most exercises. My body's ability to recover was tremendous. That's different than someone, let's say, if you take someone that's 18 and compare to someone that's 38, again, maybe the person that's 38 years old has a lot more responsibilities, more total stress. These are just a few assumptions, but maybe, it tends to be the case from coaching people. Maybe their sleep quality isn't as high. All these things affect their ability to recover. And so you can't have sometimes a one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to programming or recommendations. And even if you are the 18-year-old, but guess what? You're scared, you got some relationship issues, something's going on, you might benefit from a block where you go much further away from failure. So we're talking today, we're assuming that for someone, they care about strength, maybe they want a strength development block. I've done a ton of those before, where for maybe 12 to 16 weeks, you want to get stronger. So hypertrophy, you understand that you could rotate your goals. And so maybe right now you want to focus a little bit more on strength. You're in a strength development block. And maybe you'll also understand you're questioning your total ability to recover. You might benefit once again from training at maybe RP 5, 6, or 7 on your main working sets. What does this translate to? Okay, so let's say 75% of your 1 rep max. Most people could probably rep out 75%. So again, if that's 400 pounds, let's say it's your squat, that's about 300 pounds, you could probably get 10 repetitions. So if you want hard numbers rather than RP, if you're doing 75%, you likely can get around 10 repetitions. And traditionally people, when they program, it'd probably be around 7 or 8 reps. So again, you're 2 to 3 reps shy of failure for each set. But again, the literature supports, especially I put forth with people, if their body's ability to recover is lower, doing sets of 5 to 6 might produce a superior gain, overall strength gain, as compared to someone doing reps closer to failure. So RP 5 to 6, if your body's ability to recover is less, might be more beneficial than RP 7 to 8. Now, we're not talking about hypertrophy, because I would put forth for those that once again care about strength, for your main movements, you could leave even more reps in the tank. So training once again, maybe RP 6, RP 7, especially when things are stressful. And you can make up some of that intensity if you also care about hypertrophy in your accessory movements, right? So your isolation movements, you going to town on tricep press downs, 120 pounds for 12 repetitions, whatever, to complete failure, is not going to be detrimental for your strength gain. So in that way, how I split it up, especially, we want to try and predict how people will be not in a perfect kind of atmosphere where you make this program and you assume someone's going to be able to hit the gym at 100% intensity every single workout. It just doesn't work out like that. And I've seen comments before on a variety of YouTube channels where people will say, once again, I would love to do this, but it's kind of not realistic for me. You need to do what's realistic for yourself. So how I kind of see it in my head, especially with those that once again might have more overall stress outside of the gym, would be to manage RP of the main movements and make up kind of the intensity or the volume that you would be doing in your accessory movements, in your isolation movements, in areas that you want to grow. But once again, the thing I want people to wrap their head around if they are largely concerned with strength would be sometimes if we're equating sets. So once again, you can have someone do sets of 8, which would be, let's say, an RPE 8, or individuals do sets of 5, and once again, an RP maybe 6, or somewhere along that, and we equate their sets, which means that the person that's doing RP 8 is doing more total work, because they're doing 8 repetitions per set versus 5 repetitions per set. But again, if you can't recover, the person that's training at a lower overall intensity might get even stronger than if they did the thing at RP8 where they can't recover. And I can't state this enough that, again, the literature tends to support this. Other practical recommendations, you always want to keep the bar velocity pretty good. If you're noticing in your training as you accumulate weeks of training in your strength development block that you're just getting grindy, and I think we all know what that feels like and what it looks like, maybe consider doing a little bit less work. Maybe do the same amount of sets, but knock off a rep or two. And so 85% is a classic example, right? At 85% of your 1 rep max, you could probably do triples, right? You could do triples pretty comfortably. But again, if you want for maybe an 8 to 12 week block, you knock off a rep or two. So instead of doing triples, oh, this is crazy, you do doubles. And some people might be thinking to themselves, wait, I'm just doing 1 rep less. Is this really going to make a difference? Trust me, when you want to squat 500 pounds, 600 pounds, deadlift 600 pounds, when you want to get very strong, these are important considerations. So in short summation for this video, we put up a ton of information from the article and from the other articles that deal with this particular topic. If you want to get stronger, you need to be kind of intuitive with yourself, with your training and what's realistic. And sometimes doing less, I'm sorry, Yngve, can be more.
How can less be more? It's impossible.
And in this instance, if we care largely about strength, and again, I'm sure your goals kind of change over time, or even in a year, there could be that intra-variability where you might want to do a little bit of hypertrophy, right? Get jacked for summer, maybe lean down, and then when fall comes around you want to get stronger, give that a go, especially if you notice in your training that it gets very grindy or you're not hitting the reps that you should. Dial it back a little bit. The literature supports that, and I think the real world evidence the coaches experience when they coach clients also confirms this. Anyways, I gotta get out of here. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, make sure to like the damn video, and I'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next one. Peace. Eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables, eat your fucking vegetables.